Today on Broward Teen News, we're at West Broward High School to learn all about the Bobcat home and the community around them.
Stay tuned to learn about a tennis player and what keeps her inspired,
A local Florida man and his passion for music,
and stories from Gulliver Prep, like how a girl gives back to a cause close to her heart.
and much more. Hello and welcome to Broward Teen News, West Broward High School Edition. I'm Maria Facal.
And I'm Daniel Soto. Today, we're going to look inside our school to showcase some of the amazing things happening in the home of the Bobcats.
Like our first story of a student who has started devoting time into his future by learning how to invest and buy stocks as a teenager, and how he navigates the risk it takes to go further.
Hello, I'm Thomas Pinot. I'm 17 and I'm a Wall Street stock investor. So I got into stocks because of my dad. After the end of the COVID year and GameStop big boom, he found enormous ways to make money on the side and he got into stock investing. So in May 2022, he opened up a custodial account, which is basically an account for teenagers that will transition into an adult account when they're 18. And then I got my first stock in crypto because we saw crypto was the new big thing that was opening up now. And then I bought my first stock, which was Marathon Digitals. As a teenager, for me in this industry, it's very difficult because you don't have a lot of money that you can play with. When you get into a stock, you could just lose everything in one day, or you could gain as much as you possibly can. But it all comes down to psychological matter. And for the long run, this is all my savings. I don't have a job, I don't have anything to pay for college, and this is what I'm dependent on. So the type of mindset that I need to have for this industry is that you just need to know that everything's going to be all right. You need to know that there's going to be a solution for everything that you possibly can, even if you gain or lose. The one thing is that it's a gamble. You have to be willing to take the risk to be able to get the things that you want. And it sounds bad when you put it in that way, but it is what it is. You have to risk some things. You have to sacrifice some things to be able to earn and get what you want. If I don't demand myself to do more and push more, then I'm going to be in the same place this whole entire time.
A South Florida local shares his love for music, the jumps in the road he's had to overcome, and how the decisions he's made in the past have ultimately altered the trajectory of his life and made him realize that music is what's best for him.
Hi, I'm Ozzy Reyes, local South Florida man, saxophonist, and founder of Stella Fusion. We're a kind of a fusion of Latin styles of music and jazz and rock. We've been performing since about 2018. At the end of my 6th grade year at elementary school, I was none too happy to hear that my mother had her own plans for me, and she had started to tell me that I would be joining the band in junior high, and that she wanted a son saxophone player. After 3 years of high school, towards the end of the at the beginning of my senior year, I became the drum major of the marching band. I really took it to heart. It was as if I had my own private little marching band or army full of band nerds that would do just about anything I asked them to do. My college career started as an oboist in the symphony orchestra at Florida International University. Really quickly started to slowly lose interest in music. In 1994, 2 years after I had started FIU, deciding to quit music, and I really quit music. I sold my instruments, stopped talking to my music band friends, and left it. Left being a musician for what I thought would be for good. As the century came to an end, around the year Y2K, I was at that point now an IT employee working in the banking industry in downtown Miami. I felt like I didn't even need to look back. But life threw a curveball, and in December of 2002, my father passed away. He had been sick for quite some time and had surgery and never made it out of the hospital. It was just the beginning of a lot of change that was happening to me emotionally. I started to realize that I needed to try to find a way to get back into music and express myself through music again. I really missed my friendships. I missed the connection that somebody makes with other musicians when they're playing music and making a harmony and having people dance. I mean, there's such a connection there, and I realized that was something I needed back in my life in order to be able to cope with the passing of my father. Around 2004 or 2005, my mother had visited her home country, Colombia, and for some reason, of all the things she could bring back to Colombia, she brought a cheap saxophone that she found, and I kind of put it in the closet and it stayed there. But it gnawed away at me, and unconsciously I knew that the saxophone was there, was calling me. I slowly started to pick it up and play it again. In 2015, I joined a real big South Florida salsa band that was very popular at the time. I really could not have done music if I didn't have a wonderful family and a base from which to operate. Financially, I've been okay, so I've been able to take time to do the music. It's been a challenge, trying to stay true to myself, to original music, to making music that I want to play, and that is music with words, with instruments that ultimately make people dance. This is music, and the saxophone is really something that I owe my mom. It has become something that identifies me, but I don't know what I'd be if I wasn't a musician. I owe so much to it. I owe my love for music and art, and so much has stemmed from my mother making me play the saxophone.
Gabi has had a love for tennis for as long as she can remember. She has taken inspiration from the professionals she watched as she was growing up, by learning their technique and not giving up even through the hard times.
Hi, my name is Gabi and I play tennis. So I started tennis when I was about 7 years old, and I grew up watching tennis with my grandma. We would watch all of the Opens, like the Australian Open, Wimbledon, the US Open, the Miami Open, and that's just where my love for tennis grew and where I really developed a passion for it, and I wanted to be out there on that court doing the same thing as all those stars. So some of the low points have been just mastering technique. That's probably the hardest part of tennis, and knowing how to hit the different strokes, backhands, forehands, and serves. The power part and hitting the ball with strength is usually the easiest part. I think mastering technique and the way that you're supposed to hit the balls has definitely been the hardest. My favorite part of playing tennis is winning points. It's just such a good feeling when you even have long rallies with your opponents, up to 30 or more shots, and the last point, you win it. It's such a good feeling, and you feel just so accomplished and proud of yourself. Don't give up when things are hard. That's happened to me before. I just think it's so important to just keep training and you'll get better. And just to not be so hard on yourself when you miss points. There's always the next point and the next match, so never give up.
Now let's take a look at excerpts of one of our very own WBTV students' recent projects.
Camilo, a West Broward student, has taken the opportunity to learn how to DJ. From this experience, he's able to bring joy and music to his friends and family in a creative way.
What's up? My name is Camilo, and I like to DJ. What made me want to start was my brother. He's a DJ himself, and growing up, I idolized him, and he's the one that made me want to become a DJ. Growing up, I DJ'd with him. It was really fun. What I love about DJing is that it makes me feel like a kid. It makes me feel nostalgic. And also I get to be very creative when mixing songs. It's like art. And also when DJing at a family gathering or at a party, I just love to make people dance and smile and just create a good time in the environment. The only hard part is the beginning when you're starting, because you really don't know what you're doing. In my opinion, it's the most hardest thing to learn. But what I learned is that the best way to learn is just to do it, and you'll find your way through it. Advice that I give is, if you really want to do it, just start now. Just don't try to stress yourself out on learning, because it's really hard to learn it. There's a lot of buttons, a lot of mechanisms. Just learn how to be creative and not how to do it, you know? So that's the best advice I can give.
Here at BTN, we have the pleasure of working with other schools in the area to find out what's going on here in South Florida. Here's a story from Gulliver Prep and their take on the difference between culture appropriation and creative costumes as their Halloween season approaches.
Hey, happy Halloween! Halloween is the spookiest time of the year, and a big contributor to that spooky factor are the costumes. When I'm making a Halloween costume, I'm thinking of a Jedi Master. Or maybe even an icon, like Michael Jackson. But wait, this makes me think. Where should the line be drawn between cultural appropriation and creative costumes? This term, cultural appropriation, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, refers to the act of taking or using things from a culture that is not your own, especially without showing that you understand or respect this culture. See, my friend just sent me a picture of his Halloween costume, and as a Cuban American, in my culture, Cuban cigars represent respect and a major portion of my country's wealth. So why should such an important item to my culture be reduced to a Halloween costume? It's trick-or-treating time. Now, my friend probably didn't intend any disrespect, but it's about how he made me feel about my culture that matters. Oh my gosh! Oh, now this brings up intent versus impact. Anyone could have good intentions with their costume, but negative representation of one's culture could perpetuate systematic oppression. Much better. So before you play pretend for a few hours, make sure you know the history behind your costume, and be aware of what you wear.
At this shop, the Christmas feeling is year-round. Megan is keeping the holiday spirit alive by shopping towards a cause close to her heart.
The holidays are filled with lights, ornaments, and maybe a few jingle bells. But in Christmas Palace in Hialeah, there's decorations for everyone.
All year long, all 365 days are Christmas. This is the only store where you can find new things, Christmas items, and Christmas decorations.
And for customers like Megan, these decorations aren't for her tree.
We're getting trees and ornaments for the kids in the hospital because they're spending their Christmas in the hospital.
At the age of 7, Megan was diagnosed with a high-risk form of leukemia. And as a patient herself, this decoration delivery means so much more.
And this year is, the first year that our lives have been, I don't want to say normal, but more normal-ish. That I actually have the time to get more involved with foundations, with the clinic.
So we're here with the S.I.D.E.S charity, and the 2 children will be shopping for trees and ornaments for the inpatients of Nicholas Children's Hospital so that they can spread some cheer this holiday season and hopefully brighten up their stay at the hospital.
And there's been support for this cause all around.
A very good friend of mine knows the owner here, and they've been gracious enough to donate everything. So, don't you like that?
So it's very rewarding to be able to do this and give back to the kids and make their holidays a little bit more joyful.
For Radio Vision, I'm Amelie Santini, reporting.
Now, a story from Radio Vision all the way from Long Beach. With inflation rising, American University of Health Sciences have taken matters into their own hands with free groceries and new beginnings.
Here in Long Beach, inflation is rising day by day, which is causing more people to struggle with affording the necessities. But here at the American University of Health Sciences Free Groceries event, new beginnings are created.
It helps a lot of families. I see a lot of the elder benefiting from this. Sometimes they need it, and also people with kids, because with the economy and everything going so, inflation being everything so high in price, you might run out quickly. So this is kind of nice, so they can have extra food or just another nice meal.
But more and more are waiting for their free meal. According to lahasa.org, there is a 9% increase of homelessness per year in Los Angeles. That's 75,518 people who are struggling on the streets.
Well, we feel that right now, since COVID, we've seen more need than before. People willing to wait in line early in the morning to be here, and they know the food are here. It gives them hope that somebody out there actually cares, that there's a place that they can go to that care, that they can have new hope, new beginning. It gives them an opportunity to say, you know what, I can go out and do this. I can go to work.
And the warm feeling of hope bleeds through the volunteers.
I can see in their faces that they're so grateful, and I think that just brings a smile in my heart and stuff. Even during the difficult times, the community is strong here in Long Beach. For Student Television Network, I'm Daniel Lipoff reporting.
A community in South Florida is stronger than ever. Everyone at Temple Beth Am is doing their part to support one another in a time of need.
The last 2 months of the year are filled with festivities and times of celebration. But for the Jewish community, this holiday season will feel different.
I mean, I look to my temple to help me in times of need, in difficult times. It makes me feel at home. It makes me feel like there's a place where I can go and feel safe. I think that's really important now with all that's going on in the world.
Few disasters are as tragic as war, and the conflict in Israel is no exception. On the fateful day of October 7th, a Jewish holiday called Simchat Torah, tragedy struck, affecting people across the globe.
But when I woke up Saturday morning, and I looked at my phone, I saw that hundreds of hostages were taken. I was devastated.
It was so upsetting, and then it was like, who's there right now? Are they okay? Are they coming home? And it was like, oh my God, how could that even happen?
But the winds of war did not tear down the unity of the Beth Am community.
We organized a prayer service that Sunday night, the next day, in this room. Every one of these seats was filled. It's the best thing that could happen.
We were there, but still very anxious, wanting to know about family and friends, wanting to know what was going to be tomorrow.
And everybody shared just a little bit of their heartache on that day. And there is something really powerful to coming together when your heart is broken, because you realize that you are not alone.
I felt like a relief. It was so nice and warm to have a room full of people that everybody's Jewish, everybody's going through this, everybody knows somebody who's feeling something right now. It was this is where we need to be. So it was incredible.
My main role is to comfort the people here who are hurting. As much as it helps them, it helps me. Because I'm also hurting. And I need people to share that with.
And with Hanukkah season just around the corner, the bonds of community will be stronger than ever.
You know, Hanukkah is the festival of lights, so I think it's important to recognize that even in these dark times that we always as Jews have hope. Unfortunately, it's the difficult tragedies that bring people together and make people want to be together. And I think Hanukkah will be a great time for that.
But for many, this holiday season just won't be as sweet.
I think it'll be fun to celebrate, but I also think it'll hurt because there's so many, I think it's like 200 something, maybe 240 hostages right now in Gaza that won't get to celebrate with their family. So bittersweet, maybe a little bit more bitter, but also kind of just a reminder of like why we're Jewish.
When a community comes together, there will always be a light, however bright, at the end of the tunnel. For Raider Vision, I'm Desmond Howard, reporting.
Caroline Marina is a remarkable teenage girl whose discovery of a passion for makeup marks the beginning of an inspiring journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Her story unfolds through determination and growth, revealing the transformative steps she has taken to reach this pivotal point in her life.
Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm 17 and I want to be a makeup artist. When I was in middle school, I actually used to be a really big tomboy. But for Christmas, one time I got a little eyeliner kit and like some other lipsticks and stuff. And I got a bunch of eyeshadows too. And I don't know, I was really into art, but it wasn't like I was the best ever at it. And so I was like, maybe I could take what I'm really good at in art and like translate that into makeup. I got my big old first palette. It had really fun and crazy colors, so I would just like go crazy. And then whenever I would hear my mom open the garage, I would get embarrassed because I wasn't confident with it on yet. And so I'd be like, like try to wipe it off of my face.
So I'm gonna do white right now, first. I like to put it kind of like, I like to do like little decorations, like I'll do it like in little clusters, little different patterns, whatever I can think of.
People would kind of look down on me, like when I would wear a lot of makeup, like I do sports too, or when I would go to school, my teachers, my classmates, my coaches, like everybody would just look at me like I was like weak because like I expressed my femininity through makeup. And like that would make me like kind of mad. So after a while, I would kind of like stop from going into color and I would really kind of go back to like more natural and like more culturally like and socially acceptable makeup that appeal more to like normal people. Special events and like a lot of things, I would go back to gems and I would go back to color and I was like, oh my god, I can't ignore this side of me. Like I just have to express myself. Like I just love that. That still didn't make me leave my tomboy side though. I still was able to go out and play soccer with a full face of makeup on and have these crazy eye looks. And yeah, I would get coaches and teammates coming up to me like, what are you doing? Why are you wearing that? And all those other questions. But at the end of the day, I knew that made me happy. I just feel like without these gems and without these colors and having that routine every day, I don't feel like myself without it. I feel like this is me. I feel like this is who I am, and the way I portray myself through makeup is exactly what I want to convey to other people. I want people to know that I'm a happy person, and that I like to explore new things. I like to try new things. And this is just the happiest the way I am.
Over the summer, our football team has been working tirelessly to get ready for the upcoming season. Let's take a look.
Last night caught it lens, I can front the trenches. Now I'm running Benz. Switch game with extensions. I stay independent. I ain't never sold my soul. Don't need no forensics. Don't got good intentions. Spider senses tell me no. Ain't no one to mention. All these balls I'm benching. I was broke trying to kick a toe.
Well, that wraps it up here from West Broward. Once again, I'm Maria Fakal.
And I'm Daniel Soto. If you want to see stories like these and more, make sure you follow our Broward Team News Facebook page.
See you next time.